What's up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today, you guys, with a brand new review for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. You guys, the girls are back, and we're back. So, this season of Salt Lake City, I think I'm going to try to see Salt Lake City all the way through, but we'll see. But before we do get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and then having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and also by turning on your post notifications, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, shall we? All right, you guys. So if I didn't tell you guys the name of this episode, it's titled "Costume or Couture." It was it was okay for Salt Lake City. I enjoyed the premiere. It was a lot of stuff that happened that I was just cracking up at, right? But we'll definitely get into it. If you guys watched this premiere, please let me know what you guys thought about it down in the comment section below or in the live chat if you are joining me in the live video. But yeah, definitely let me know what you guys thought about this premiere. Overall, if I had to rate it, I would give it a B because there were moments that I cracked up laughing at, right? So this episode, it opens up, and so we see as the ladies are getting ready to do their interviews, right? What I will say is I noticed that because I noticed for like Salt Lake City previously, they filmed in front of a green screen. Now they actually have backdrops, and I noticed one person's backdrop was different this season. I'm like, oh my God, Meredith has moved again, hasn't she? Lo and behold, Meredith has moved. So this episode really mostly consists of Lisa because Lisa is having a party for all of her girlfriends to come, right? So we see, I think it was a few days prior where she was talking to Angie K and Heather. Speaking of Heather, it's so hilarious to me when it comes to Heather that Heather has lost all this weight due to Ozempic, right? And no shade to her for losing weight through Ozempic. But the thing that I find hilarious about Salt Lake City is the fact that they are still using the same title cards from season one of this show when Heather was bigger. Heather is significantly smaller than she was when we met her season one. And I think that is hilarious to me, right? So Lisa has this issue with Whitney, right? Because I guess after last season's reunion, Whitney went and did a podcast. And in the podcast, Whitney basically said that Lisa was a villain, right? And I agree with Whitney. Lisa, you are, oh my God, John. Whitney said I'm a villain. Like, I do believe that Lisa is a villain, but and the craziest thing to me when it comes to Salt Lake City is that everybody, well, not everybody, but some of the fans want to make Lisa Barlow that girl when I just really honestly don't think she's that girl. That's my personal opinion. You guys can agree or disagree, right? So we then moved back to the party, right? And I noticed they were outside, and I also noticed that there was only a handful of black people there. I'm gonna ask this question: how many black people live in Salt Lake City? Because I saw beside Mary, there were two other black women that I saw came to that party, and I was like, and everybody else was just snow bunnies. I was like, damn, how many black women people live in this damn city? But it is what it is, right? So Mary came there with Angie, so we find out that Mary and Angie are cool, and I thought that that was hilarious to me that Mary and Angie are cool because you guys remember last season when they went to Trixie's place and and Angie told Mary to come sit with him. She says, I'm not coming to sit with you. And in her interview, she's like, who is Angie? And then at the reunion, when she kind of went back and forth with Angie for a little bit, but then Andy asked her who she liked on who in this group she liked. She said Angie. So Angie and Mary are good friends with each other now. And so we see that. So then Heather came with her friend Brittany, and I'm gonna be honest, Brittany I think is going to be annoying. Now, I will ask the question: how many friends of do they have this? I think they have three friends of this season, because I know that they tested. I know that they tested some of the girls. I know that I believe they tested Heather's friend Brittany, and I also believe that they tested Whitney's friend as a friend of, as I think one of them was supposed to be a housewife, but somewhere in the filming process they got demoted to a friend of. I don't remember. I know I remember there was a lot of girls filming this season and testing. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Penelope S. How are you doing today? Did you watch Salt Lake City? Let me know what you want if you're watching and what you thought about it. But yeah, also Bravo has a new show coming called Sold on SLC or something like that, where Lisa's because they show Lisa's friend who's a realtor. So there's gonna be a show for them. I may watch that show, I may not. I'm not entirely sold on it and saw anything. So we'll see. But again, I just asked the question of how many black people are live in Salt Lake City. Oh, well, I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. That really means a lot that you didn't watch it, but you are here to support. But yeah, I just wonder how many black people live in Salt Lake City? Because I only saw three, including Mary. That three of them with Mary included, and then on that new show that they have, there's one black girl on that show. So, what is the population of African Americans in Salt Lake City? Not that just questioning. So we also met the new girl. Her name is Bronwyn. Now, actually, before we get to Bronwyn, I thought it was so hilarious that when Heather came in, then Mary was like, "Oh, you're very thin. You're very thin." She is, and then she was telling somebody it's Ozempic, right? You say I watched the Black Housewives shows and was watching OC. Okay, okay. Now I will say don't sleep on some of the other shows. Um, I will say one of my top that's non-black when it comes to housewives is Beverly Hills. Those are my girls. Forever and always gonna be my girls because they give. Now, Bronwyn, oh my God, when Bronwyn showed up with that heart-shaped jacket, that coat, that heart-shaped coat, I was like, wow, that is a statement piece. If I've never saw a statement piece before. She said there are only three of them, and she said she owns one, Rihanna owns one, and another one is in a museum. Okay, so you do watch Beverly Hills. Okay, I was about to say you can't. I mean, a lot of people sleep on Beverly Hills, but okay, you watch Beverly Hills too. I am excited for Beverly Hills to come back. So, what I will say, I should have got a picture of Bronwyn's interview look. Next, if I can find that interview look and screenshot it, I'm gonna post it on my community tab because her interview look is just very busy. It's a lot of colors that don't look like they should go together, and it's more specifically her house because them colors in that house, I was like, my God, today, what is this? So then Whitney came with her friend, and her friend's name now I'm saying her name is Melly, but they never said the woman's name, so I'm assuming that's the woman's name. How you pronounce it, right? So Lisa is surprised that Whitney even came. I'm like, why are you surprised that Whitney came? This is an all cast event. So I'm pretty sure Whitney is like, well, I'm not gonna miss out on the check because me and you ain't seeing eye to eye. And honestly, when it comes to Lisa and Whitney, it's a one-sided thing. Like it's literally one-sided. But okay, Lisa, set yourself off, right? If you want to if this is what you want to be mad about, be mad about it, sis. So now, what I will say about Whitney is, Whitney, you were absolutely rude. I might not see it for Lisa, but you were rude to come to that woman's event and go speak to other people and not speak to her. Like you could have said, "Hi, Lisa," and then left it at that. But you went and spoke to everybody else but Lisa. Like Whitney, I caught you. Now, yeah, this is where I really started cracking up. So Heather is letting us know about her friend Brittany. So Brittany dated Jared Osmond. I was like, oh great, huh? Osmond. And before she could even say it, I was like, this got to be a relation to Donnie and Marie. And of course, he's their nephew. I was like, exactly. So she says that actually Brittany has an interview. So I'm like, okay, so you are a friend of. I really think that Brittany is going to annoy me, but that's how I feel. You guys can tell me how you think about Brittany. So Brittany is talking about how she and Jared have broken up about 16 times. Girl, I'm not going to break up with nobody 16 times. I hope she was exaggerating and being facetious, but even still, if we break up once or twice, it's not gonna be. I don't want it to be a third time, right? So this is where I cracked up because this is why the episode is titled "Costume or Couture," right? Because this coat that what's her name, Bronwyn has on, and it's so interesting. We have another Bronwyn because you guys, if you guys watch OC, there was a Bronwyn on OC, and she was a hot mess. So Bronwyn is with her coat on, right? Brittany comes up and says, "I love your costume." And Brittany and Mary are like, "It's not a costume. We wear couture." Now, Mary, y'all know how I feel about Mary. I'm up and down when it comes to Mary. I when it comes to Mary, Mary is shady, and I think that's what I like about Mary. But outside of that, I don't think Mary's that nice of a person. But Mary shaded that woman in her interview. She's talking about what she has on. You look like you have on some what kind of dog? What she said that this looked like dog hair, basically whatever this woman has on. I was like, oh my god, I was hollering at that. I was so hollering at Mary because one thing Mary does is she reads these white ladies effortlessly. Now, much like Penelope said, Mary could never read me. Absolutely, I would read Mary up and down, back and forth. Like Mary can read me, but the way she reads these girls, it cracks me up every time. She reads these girls. I mean, she's called Heather inbred. She's called Whitney little girl. She's called Whitney a bobblehead. Um, like the things that she says to them, and they have no rebuttal to Mary, and they find it fun. Well, Heather finds it funny, but my God, like Penelope said again, Mary could never read me. Honestly, Mary is a kind of an easy read, but you know, that's how I feel. Because I could read Mary all day. So then this woman, Mary is talking about how she had five siblings growing up, right? And so when she just got older, she just, because she talks about her upstairs, like her office is her like a closet with her stuff in it. So the woman was like, you're like a hoarder. She says, absolutely not. I was like, oh my God. Now, Mary, I hope you've gotten rid of that tacky green carpet in your house because I still to the day don't understand what that carpet was, and I really hope you got rid of that bubblegum looking chair that you had as well. Because like your taste and style, it's a little tacky. It ain't a little tacky, it's hella tacky. Mary has tacky sense of style, right? But what I will say is she the things that she wears, it is designer, but some things that she wears is just very, very tacky. We got to be real about it. Even her wigs be tacky. Because I will say, from season one to current, her wigs have gotten better. But I was looking at her interview looks, and I was looking at her hair, and I couldn't tell if it was a weave or if it was a wig or if it was pieces put into her hair because I couldn't quite tell what I was looking at with Mary's hair in certain scenes in this episode. Like I couldn't tell if she was wearing a wig, a weave. Well, I know she wasn't. I know some of them she wasn't wearing a wig. Because well, if she was, she would want to go back and ask for a refund. That is all I'm gonna say about that. So then Brittany is talking about how she grew up poor and she would put bread in her purse. I was kind of with Mira. It's like, why are you putting bread in your purse? Like you don't know how to ask somebody to get you a to-go box, but you wrapping up bread and putting it in your purse. Okay. I mean, unless you had an all you can eat, I mean, that's the only way I could see you taking bread home. But then I'm still questioning why are you taking bread home from an all. I mean, because I was thinking maybe it's an all you can eat buffet that she went to. But again, the bread, you're taking the bread home with you. That's weird, Brittany. But Brittany said that she grew up poor, and this is where she kind of lost me at when she said she grew up poor, and it was like she was insinuating that Mary grew up poor, and I'm like, Mary never said that she grew up poor. So I'm kind of confused, ma'am. Like, what are you talking about here? But you guys, if you guys watch it, let me know your your first impressions of Ms. Brittany. I'm gonna give Brittany a chance, but yeah, I don't really know about Brittany. We'll see how Brittany plays out as the season progresses. But as of right now, Brittany might be a little bit of a no for me. Uh, Good morning, V Card. You said great episode. Production team's editing is top tier. I will say the editing was really good. I did like that. Um, what I will say about Salt Lake City that I do love is the winter aspect of this show. Now, when they were outside in their cold, I was like, it's got to be freezing cold out there for them to be just standing out there. Speaking of Bronwyn, ma'am, when you went to go see Lisa, meet Lisa with that jacket. Now, I will say the outfit was amazing, but girl, I know you were freezing. It was 37 degrees. You had on hoochie shorts and you had on a uh that top, a midriff top. I was like, girl, I know you freezing. I know you were freezing. But I think when it comes down to it, I think I'm gonna like Bronwyn. I really so far I think I'm gonna like Bronwyn. I think I'm gonna like her. I don't want to say it yet, and then as we get into the season, I'll be like, ugh, I don't like Bronwyn, right? But so far so good with Bronwyn. So after that, you know what? I wasn't even thinking about that. I wasn't even thinking about that because I guess the difference is she's not wearing those big couture gowns like Chanel wears on Dubai. But I definitely agree with you. It is. I think it may be a little bit too much. I think at some point it may get on my nerves. But in the first episode, I was okay with it. If she doesn't do it all the time like Chanel does on Dubai, I'll be okay with it. But I agree with you. It may be overboard, right? But like I said, I know she was freezing with that little skimpy outfit she had on. So Meredith. Here's my thing with Meredith. Meredith moves every season of this show. And my question to here's the thing. I can get it, but then I don't get it at the same time, right? Because I get it for the sake of safety. Because if you guys, I mean, we know what happened with Kyle. Kyle's house got robbed, right? So we know that people can Google. I mean, let's remember last season, some of Potomac. Somebody put Wendy's address out there, and I'm like, why would y'all do that? And then coincidentally, her house got broken in. So I get why Meredith does it, but girl, I mean, my God, today you must spend a lot of money in rentals every season, so that people just don't know where your real house is. That is you and Steph must got a whole lot of money. Y'all must got a lot of money, but congratulations to you. She we found out that Meredith got her breast reduction, but it's not really taken because the breast tissue keeps growing, so her breasts keep growing, right? So Meredith now has an issue with Whitney. When I tell y'all that this issue that she said that she has with Whitney, I was like, I know this is a joke, right? This has got to be a joke. Where's Ashton Kutcher at with the cameras saying, "Hey, I punked you"? So Meredith feels that Whitney is coming for her because Meredith said at the reunion that she was going to create a bath line, and Whitney went and created a bath line. I was like, oh my God, today. This sounds just like Brooks over on Dubai. So you mad at this woman because she created a bath line? Meredith, did you create the bath line, or was it in development, like testing? What was it, Meredith? Please tell me what it was, because I cannot understand that for the life of me. That makes absolutely no sense. So Lisa tells us that Jack is still on his colonizing mission. I was like, oh, hearing about that Mormon mission, it don't sit right in my spirit. And if there's anybody who's watching me that's a Mormon, this is no offense to you guys. I just really think that that's colonizing. And it ain't no, I think it's colonizing. That is colonizing, to go somewhere and try to push your religion on them. That is colonizing. But okay, congratulations to Jack nonetheless. But again, I still have my feelings. And again, if anybody's watching me that is Mormon, this is nothing personal against you. It's just my 2 cents and my opinion. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and force my religion on somebody else. So why are you guys going and doing that to somebody? Like, it's weird. It's colonizing. V Card says Meredith complaining of Whitney having the same business. Potomac has several ladies with exactly. Karen and Wendy have a candle business. Yes, they made a yes, at first it was a joke about the 1 week versus the 3 weeks, right? But that was lighthearted shade. But I think Meredith really is taking this to heart, that Whitney has a candle on. And I was like, Meredith, it ain't that deep. I mean, a bath line. I was like, Meredith, it really ain't that deep, sis. Like, do you have your product out? If you do, then it's just competition. I mean, Real Housewives of Atlanta, Candy has so many businesses. And I don't know if anybody ever did something similar to what she did, but I don't think she would have ever had an issue with it. But okay, Meredith, if this is what you want to be mad about, go with it, girl. So we see as she went up to question Whitney, I was like, oh, okay, we're doing this right here, right now. So she was like, what is your problem with me, Whitney? And Whitney was like, I don't have a problem with you. And I was like, and she's like, it's the bath bombs, Whitney. I was like, oh my God, really? And as much as I don't care for Whitney these days, I will say it was funny watching Whitney sit there trying to say bath bumps, like I was like, Whitney, she's saying bath bombs. And so Whitney was like, but I never saw it. I never saw you with the bath bombs. And I was like, literally, is this what we're talking about? Bath bombs? Like, oh my God. It was, but you know what? When it comes to Housewives, this is the kind of stuff I'm okay with, the trivial, stupid stuff, as opposed to the dark stuff that we have gotten from Potomac, Atlanta, New Jersey. I'll take the lighthearted, stupid stuff over the toxicness. So I'm okay with it. It was stupid, but it was funny at the same time, right? So you guys, if you guys watched me last season, you guys know that I don't like Angie K, and I still stand on. I don't like Angie K because I think Angie K is a tryhard, right? So Angie K came up when Whitney and Meredith were talking. So Angie, Meredith, Heather told me that you wanted an apology from me, and Meredith's like, "Oh my God, like what is going on now?" And Andrew's like, well, if you want an apology from me, then I'm going to need an apology for you. And this fool pulls out a scroll. I was like, girl, where did you get this scroll from? A scroll? And she's still mad about the stuff that I don't remember exactly what happened with Monica. What Meredith said to Monica last season. You guys remember, Monica fell down the stairs at her house. I think Meredith said that her house was a liability or something. I don't know, but that's what she wants an apology for. And I'm like, oh my God, girl, please go away from us with this. You said V Card says Whitney said she always had bath bombs on her website. Yes, Whitney did say that. Did I take the time to go check and look and see? No. And Meredith decided to sell Whitney skincare in the jewelry store. Oh, she did. I heard that, but I didn't know what she was. I didn't understand what they were saying in that particular moment. Okay, Meredith, you just fishing for a moment, and I'm okay with it for now. V also says Angie should have memorized those things off the top of her head. Absolutely, because to pull out a scroll, I know what Angie was going for. She was going for a shock moment. Was it a little shocking? Yes, but also it was very lame at the same time. It was very lame. I was like, girl, you really wasted your time to buy a scroll. So somebody had to make this scroll. You paid for it. How much money you paid for it, I do not know, but why? Girl, you should have just been like, okay, you said this, you said, because I mean, you did that all last season. Every time you confronted Meredith last season, you were quick on your feet to tell her what she's done to you. But this whole scroll thing, it literally fell flat. Hang it up, flat screen, please do, because I don't think you got the. I don't know, and you didn't get the results that you wanted because Meredith walked away from you. So I was like, what was the purpose? But okay, Angie, have fun with it, right? So I don't know how long they were standing outside, but they eventually went inside to like a barn to eat. Now I will say at first I was looking at their food, I was like, what are they eating? I know that was supposed to be the appetizers, but I was like, this is the worst appetizer I've ever saw in my life. Because it was a little speck of nothing. But then they brought the a food out, and I was with Mary. That was a big chunk of meat. That was a huge chunk of meat. But hey, if they like it, I love it, right? So they're sitting down, and once again, Angie K is still talking about this stuff with Meredith. I was like, oh my God, girl, let it go. Even Bronwyn had to say, can we table it? Can we let it go? No. She's like, nope. She just kept talking. I was like, okay, please shut up. V. Carter says Meredith and Lisa are gonna give themselves strokes by yelling at folks all the time. Absolutely. And the thing with Lisa, excuse me, y'all. The thing with Lisa is Lisa was doing the most for absolutely nothing. Like I didn't understand why Lisa was so mad. Like I didn't get, I really truly did not get why Lisa was so mad. So Whitney decided that she wanted to question Lisa about being mad at her, right? So Lisa says, well, oh well, let me get my I can't do my Lisa voice right now. But Lisa said that Whitney did a podcast, and I was gonna say that V, but I don't want to offend nobody. Excuse me, I don't want to offend nobody, but I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that because I was looking at that food. It wasn't even just a big chunk. When that one woman cut into that piece, was it a steak? That steak was still like. Here's my thing: when I know I don't eat a well done steak, right? I eat a medium. I eat a medium steak, right? But that steak didn't even look medium. It looked raw. Like that steak didn't look cooked at all. When that woman cut through it, you could still see, like you could see you could see the outside wasn't cooked. I was like, oh my God. But I was thinking the same thing, that that steak did not look cooked at all. I'm so glad you said it because I was thinking it, but I just did not want to say that because I was looking at the it was just that one, and then Heather is over there scarfing that food down. I was like, oh my God, Heather. Girl, this food, I don't know if it's cooked. But hey, if y'all want salmonella or whatever, go for it. Knock yourselves out, right? And Mary is the only one who did not eat it. She ate a salad. Like I said, Mary was talking about the size of the steak. It wasn't the size of it for me. It was the fact that I didn't think it was cooked. That's what it was for me. That steak wasn't cooked. And then I don't know if those were mashed potatoes next to because I think it was steak and mashed potatoes. And I was looking at those mashed, whatever that was. I don't know if, again, I think it was mashed potatoes, but I don't know what it was because I couldn't tell. And I was like, I don't think I would have ate any of that stuff. I know for sure I would have ate that appetizer because that appetizer looked absolutely disgusting. I would have just passed. I'd be like, I would have passed. Yeah, I would not have eaten either. Absolutely not, because that food did not look good. So, Lisa. Lisa is saying to Whitney, "You talked about me in a you talked about me in a podcast," and I was like, "She said that you are a villain." Whitney says, "But Lisa, you didn't listen to the whole interview. It was 2 hours, and I didn't talk about you for the 2 hours." I was like, "Oh my god!" So Lisa is mad because she's been called a villain, but Lisa, you have been pretty villainous. Like, let's be real. I know that people want to make you the it girl of this show. Again, I know you brought the show to the network, but you're not the it girl for me personally. You guys may like Lisa. I don't like Lisa. It's something about Lisa that just gives very inauthentic to me. Like speaking of Lisa, so you guys remember last season she lost one of her rings when they went on the trip, right? Well, tell me why she's lost another ring that cost $100,000. Girl, this is giving insurance fraud. It's giving insurance fraud that you losing a $60,000 and $100,000 ring. That is really giving insurance fraud, allegedly. That's what I'm thinking. Because how do you lose two rings that cost that much money? Where are you like? Okay, girl. If again, it is what it is. So Lisa says that Whitney lied about her, right? Oh, thank you for okay, be real. I was wondering that. So thank you. He says, FYI, I'm from Salt Lake City and it's very diverse, all kind of people, not just white folks. Thank you. Because I was wondering that. Because with this show, I never see anybody, I always see is white women. Like all I see are white women. I'm like, there has to be more people in this city besides these white women. Because at this party, like I said, it was two other black women and Mary, and then on that new show that they're promoting, it's one black person on there. I'm like, is Salt Lake City just nothing but white women? But thank you for clearing that up. Thank you for clearing that up for me because I was so confused. Um, So V Carter says Lisa is a villain to Meredith. Several exactly like Lisa. Did you forget when you call that woman a SLUT and a WHORE? Villain to Heather first. Exactly the first episode, pretending not to know her. You saw loss of diversity in this party invite. I was just like I said, I just saw those two black women and Mary. So I was just, I'm pretty, I was, I thought there would be more. I thought like City would be more diverse, but just when it comes to this show, you don't really see the diversity. But hey, it is what it is. But yeah, thank you for clearing that up for me. I absolutely appreciate it. But again, like I said, they were standing outside in the cold. That's what blew me. I was like, ain't no, I don't care if you got those heating lamps. I'm pretty sure it's freezing cold. There is snow on the ground. It is 37 degrees outside, baby. And y'all got on these gowns and your arms are out and everything. And this is like, nah, a little bit too cold for me. I don't do the cold. I'm not a cold person. So I know I could never live in Salt Lake City. I don't even like it when it gets cold here in Dallas. Hate it. So, like I said, Lisa said Whitney lied about her. Whitney says, "What did I lie about?" Lisa would never answer. Lisa got defensive. Then Whitney says that she heard that she had brought it up, and so Lisa was like, "Well, the only people that I told was this one and that one," talking about Angie K and Heather. So Lisa asked her, "So which one of them said it to you?" Whitney says, "Well, I'm not going to tell you." And Heather says, "Well, it wasn't me." So she said, "Okay, well, it was then you, Angie." So Lisa gets mad at Angie. And I'm like, "Ma'am, what are you mad about? The word villain?" Lisa, you're a villain. You've been nasty to Mary for no reason. Granted, Mary is shady. Mary is shady. I'm not gonna take that away from you. You've been nasty to Meredith. You've been nasty to Meredith. You've been nasty to Mary. You've been nasty to Heather. You've also been nasty to Whitney. You've been nasty. Well, I will say you were nasty to Jen, but Jen deserved it. So I'm a ex Jen all the way out because Jen deserved everything she got and more. Who else? I mean, granted, Monica came at you, but you and Monica went back and forth with each other. So you are a villain. If the shoe fits, wear it. V Carter says that door to the food room was very creepy, and being able to lift. Thought it was gonna thought it was not gonna open. I didn't even look at that. That whole scene was just the fact that it looked like they were sitting in a barn was just blowing me. Now, what I will say, whoever decorated this stuff for Lisa, excellent style. I liked what I saw. It was cute. But and see, here's the thing. I noticed this. Nobody is complaining because this is going back to a little bit of Dubai, right? Because everybody this past season at one event they were complaining about how Lisa Milan had her decal all over everything. But did you notice with this event, Vita Tequila was everywhere? Has anybody ever tried Vita Tequila, by the way? If you have, let me know. I like tequila, but let me know if you tried Vita Tequila. V says, I do not like everybody stockpiling, ganging up on Whitney at the table. I will say, oh, so when it came to that, I thought it was, I think it was the editing as well. I also think it was the editing because if you look at the editing, 1 minute Lisa is talking to Whitney, then Heather's over there talking about the book, calling, because Whitney is asking, what did she lied about? Heather, you are the last person to discuss lying. You lied. Granted, I did not watch season 3 of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, but that whole black eye situation, you lied about that for a whole year. You lied about the black eye situation for a whole entire year. And then at last year's reunion, you want to say Jim was the one that punched you in the eye. So, Heather, you have no room to talk about anybody being a liar. Then Meredith went to chime in. I was like, Meredith, shut up. This bath bomb stuff ain't that deep or that serious. This is given when Whitney talked about your bathtub situation last season. It ain't that deep, girl. Let it go. Move on. Who else has something to say? Oh, she did also talk about the fact that Whitney said that Mary's church is a cult and that Mary and her husband are predators. Now, let me say, if you guys have been around my channel for any length of time and watched my season 1 reviews of Salt Lake City, I have said my 2 cents about Mary's church. We can say whatever we want to say about Mary's church, but the Mormon church is just as creepy as Mary's church is as well. So if we're going to call her church a cult, let's call the Mormon church a cult. So let's keep it a buck with each other. Who else? But I think they all chimed in, and I will agree with you that I did not like them ganging up on Whitney, and granted, I don't care for Whitney at this point, but I didn't care for them ganging up on her like that, right? But not Heather, but Lisa is just doing the most for no reason, and it was really annoying to me. So, so Whitney gave Lisa the middle finger and said "F you," and so she told her you can leave, and Whitney got up to leave, and Angie was right behind her. V says, "Are Whitney and Heather really cousins?" The first season they were cousins. I have not figured that out because I remember season 1 they were cousins, but then last season it kind of confused me when they were talking about it. Like I didn't understand it. Yes, I forgot about that. Lisa throwing that glass. I was like, it's Housewives, so I think she was looking for her moment, but it fell flat. Penelope says her husband might be one. Oh God. I'm gonna leave Paul alone because I went in on him and her season 1, and I still stand on what I said season 1. That is, it is something very weird about him, and that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But yeah, that was the episode of Salt Lake City season 5, episode 1. It was a solid episode. We'll see how the season progresses. I'm glad that the girls are back. Now I wonder because in the trailer they are talking about. I think they're saying Elite Whitney may have reached out to somebody that they have an issue with. I'm wondering if they're talking about Monica. Lisa's telling folks you can leave instead of Meredith from last. Yes, that is funny. You can leave. Sounds like a good one. Yeah. Heather has lost a lot of weight. She has, thanks to Ozempic. But what I will say is, I'm not gonna knock Heather for taking Ozempic. It is what it is. I think Heather, I think she went. I think honestly, Heather did this just to fit in, because I watched an interview she did with on ABC. It was on Hulu. It's on Hulu too, by the way. And it literally just sounded like she did just for people to like her and accept her. And that's what I got from this with Heather taking Ozempic. But again, she looks great. She looks great. I'm not gonna knock her. You say, does Heather look good skinny? I mean, I preferred her. I think she looked better as a big girl. I just think that Heather just didn't know how to dress for her body. That was the only problem with Heather. She just don't know how to dress for her body. But I think she looked. I mean, she looks right either way. But I didn't think she needed to lose weight. But that's her body, and I'm not gonna tell her how to live her life. But I think she looked fine before. She just couldn't dress. Still really can't dress, but it is what it is. You say, are they paying Monica for her image being used in the first episode? I don't know, because they definitely used a lot of Monica from the reunion and last season. Yep, she said Mary likes me because I'm thin and pretty. She sure did. And that's an insecurity when it comes to Heather. Heather did this just to fit in. And that's really sad. That's really sad, because she has all girls, and it just goes to say, like, what are you telling your girls? But hey, it is what it is. Like I said, if she's happy, I don't think she is. I don't think Heather's happy, because when you look at Heather, because I remember season 1, they showed before pictures of Heather. Heather doesn't even look like she did when she got married to her ex-husband. She looks like a completely different person. So I think she's looking for validation from people, and she needs to seek treatment for why she's seeking validation from others. But that is all I got to say. I ain't trying to psychoanalyze Heather by no means, but yeah, that's it. The new lady on and off with an Osmond. I don't think I'm gonna like that new lady, Brittany. She's annoying, pure annoying. It was just something about her. It was what really rubbed me wrong with her was when she assumed that Mira was poor. I was like, oh, because she's, never mind. Let me not say that, because people might get offended. But if you know where I was going, then you know where I was going. But that is the episode of Salt Lake City, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comment section below. We will go live later today for the Golden Bachelorette. That I did not realize that episode was 2 hours long. So I got to sit down and watch that. And then I got to plan. I have the live schedule for 3 o'clock, but I think we're going to push that live later to tonight. But yeah, you guys, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, share the video. And until the next time, you guys, stay safe, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So going forward, all of Salt Lake City is going to be live. I'm going to try to do New York City when they return on October 1st. I believe it's the 1st. I'm going to try to review them and stick with them. And then I have made a decision when it came to Potomac, you guys. So I am going to review Potomac. I don't think I can drop it right now. So we will review Potomac when they return October 6th, I think. Not really looking forward to it, but we'll review it. So yeah, you guys, let me get to these last comments and we'll be out of here. You say Jen, Mary, and Lisa all took shots at Heather's looks, plus her ostracized from the church, insecure for a while. I agree with you. But yeah, you guys, I'll catch you guys in the next live. Bye, guys. Have a great afternoon. It's almost noon here, so I'll see you guys later. Bye.